Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So, happy Easter, first of all. Today is Good Friday. But you may or may not know that today is also International Adult Autism Awareness Day. For those of you who don't know what autism is, it comes from the Greek Latin oneself. It's exactly what it says. It's living in a world of your own. Um, so today is the awareness day. I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because it's important to recognize it. We have a family member who has autistic tendencies. You may well have a family member yourself who has autistic tendencies. And I think it's important to remember that they are just like you and I, human beings, and then and you can have a normal relationship with them, normal conversations with them. Some um, may be aloof, distant, and the reason for this is there's an impairment to the cortex of the brain that prevents certain signals getting through in the same manner as with you or I. Our functions are as ours are. Theirs sometimes aren't, and it prevents them from doing things that you and or I would take for granted, like getting up in the morning, washing, having a shower in the same manner, eating, sleeping, walking, talking. They have their own routines sometimes. They do things in their own way, hence oneself. If you've seen the film Rain Man, as a very, very, very good example, Dustin Hoffman studied autism for the best part of 2 years before he actually took on the role. He met families who were autistic, who had autistic people within their families groups, and he went to day centers and that sort of thing, and he studied it. And what you see on screen, that's why he won the Oscar. And it's also brilliant because it raises awareness of how important it is to know about autism and how to treat people with dignity and respect. And it really is important to do that because they're just like you and I. You just talk to them and they'll respond. You know. Anyway, that that's a recommendation for anyone who wants to know about autism. Watch Rain Man. No better film out there on the market that educates you, and it does. Uh, Um, uh, Today is maybe that special day when you can just be a little bit more aware of them, have a conversation with them, and you never know, it might be the best conversation you've ever had. Because some of them see um, the world differently than you or I. They might just one subject, it might spark something that you didn't know, and you might learn something. You could show them. It could be something as simple as taking a photograph. They might do it in a different way. Something as simple as looking out the window, watching the birds, butterflies and bees. They might tell you something you didn't know. You never know. Have a conversation with them. You know? Today could be that day when you have the best conversation you've ever had. Because then, other than the autism, they're normal human beings and they deserve to be treated as normal human beings. Our family member, I had to learn how to communicate uh, in a different way because you have to to have a conversation. Um, there are some who have, if we just go back briefly to the term oneself, living in a world of their own. Some have the if you will say a safety barrier. They have an area in which they're comfortable, and you can't, unless you know what you're doing, you can't cross that barrier because they get very upset, and that's the one self. They're living in their own world. They're sometimes in society that it happens. You get some who won't talk at all, who won't communicate at all. That they will literally just go into their own world. That's one example. Um, it's sad, but it happens, and we have to recognise that. The other example is people are high functioning sometimes, and they could be brilliant at one subject. I'll give an example: mathematics. They'll you could randomly ask them a question. Could you add this and this, and they'll give you the answer faster than a calculator. But it's because of what's happening up in the cortex. A given subject, it will spark something in a different way than you or I could ever think about it. They have a unique way of looking at the world, and it's as simple as that. But try it. Have a conversation with a normal conversation, and you might learn something. Just try it. And today could be the day to be that special day that it happens. You know, how, you know, um, you don't need to talk down to them. You don't need to be patronizing, anything like that. Just be normal. Like you and I are having a conversation now, about it. But it's important to recognize it anyway. But especially today, because today is the day that we celebrate the International Adult Autistic, or given that anyone who's autistic, you know, just have it, just say hi. You know, as you or I say hi, have a conversation with them, and it might be the best thing you've ever done. Because they are lovely, lovely people, all of them. They really are. Some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Trust me, I know. Uh, the other thing that springs to mind is you may or may not have been ever been to what's called a sensory room. They're fantastic. Um, I remember I was caring for some people who were autistic, not just autistic, other difficulties, things like cerebral palsy, those sort of things, um, motor neuron disease, that those sort of unfortunate things that happen. And the sensory room is one of the best things I ever did. It's colourful, it's bright, it's enticing. You can lose yourself in it. It's like a dream room. But the whole purpose of that room is is to encourage and to develop the communicative skills. And you learn so much. You learn so much about the world that you didn't know. You learn about the textures, the colors, how people communicate with each other. If you've never been in a sensory room, I encourage you to try one. It's fantastic. It taught me a lot about life that I didn't know existed. So if you get a chance, go and try it. Go and try it. Just sit with them, and do it, and you will look at the world in a different way. I promise you, you will. Because I've done it, and I loved it. If I could go back to a sensory room today, I would, because it's fantastic. The that was the first thing I wanted to just talk about, because it's important that we recognise it. So if you know a family member who is autistic, today could be the day that you have that special conversation with them, you know, and good vibes. So say hi to someone. So it doesn't have to be a family member. It could be a member of the general public. You know, just make that extra effort and say hi, and just talk to them. Talk to them like normal people, because that's what they are, normal people, and it's important to be aware of that. So have a lovely Easter, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. Bye for now.